What is up, everybody? The draft is over. Everybody's doing their dynasty drafts, and we're looking at guys like, hey, who are our sleepers out there? Where are those rookie sleepers at? Who's being overrated right now in your rookie draft? So, what we're going to do today on today's episode, we're going to be looking at rookie sleepers, going through some guys here based on ADP, late second to all the way to fourth round guys that maybe you should be targeting. I'm going to lay out the reasons why. We're going to dive into it after the intro. So, you know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys on the other side. All right. So, like I said, we're going to get into rookie sleepers. What do we like them? And we're going to go through everything. Team fit right now, where they got drafted, what we like from them. So let's dive into it. So first guy I'm going to talk about is Jalen Hyatt. Now, if you watch me, if you consume my content, if you know, I've always been kind of lukewarm about Hyatt, and that was based on where he was getting drafted pre-draft, right? So he was going like late first, early second, and I was kind of like, no, I'm a little worried about where that's at in terms of value. But now what we're seeing is because he went in round 3 and he went in a spot where people thought maybe he'd get a better draft capital. People kind of have soured on him a little bit. He's going late second, and I've done 3 rookie drafts so far. He's gone late second, 212 twice, and 304 in another draft, right? So when we're thinking of value and sleepers, like when we're looking at guys that maybe you can draft later based on their ADP, Hyatt's a guy that stands out to me, right? We know his production. You see it on the screen there from what he did in college. And we know that it was a good part of his profile. But what does he do well, right? So when we're thinking of, what does he do well as a prospect? Speed. He plays the ball really well. I think downfield, I think he has good catch radius. I think that he goes up and gets it. I think he has good yak, right? So speed and yak are the 2 things that stand out to you, right? Now, we know where the weaknesses are: route tree, functional strength, production window. All those 3 things they've been beaten into, everybody's head. He doesn't have a route tree. He kind of struggles off the line. Functional strength, especially getting pressed. Production window, he only had 1 good year, right? And in a Tennessee offense that does not translate very well over to the NFL side, right? So those are things that you're looking at. But he went to the Giants, and I think the team fit here is good. I think this is pretty exciting for where you have him. I think that when you're looking at him, they're desperate. The Giants have been desperate for a player like Hyatt, right? Guy on the outside has an athleticism to win vertically. They don't have that. When you're looking at Rondale Robinson coming off the ACL, Sterling Shepard, Isaiah Hodgins, any of those guys out there, they can earn targets, inside and kind of get that target volume. But they don't have a guy like this. They don't have a guy that can go vertically over the top. Now he's going to have to, get that upside there in terms of his technical, his being able to kind of get in and out of breaks, getting that route tree better. But what I will say is that he is a vertical player in this offense, and he has the best chance to be kind of in a Brian DeBall's offense, like a Stephon Diggs, right? I'm not saying he is, but I think that they want to mold him into that. Pretty good potential there. Now, I think he's going to have pretty low volume at the early part of his career in the New York Giants, just because I think that he's going to get acclimated to that offense. But over time, if they're going to go over there, Daniel Jones kind of steps up and is going to spread the ball out a little bit, he could be that guy that has that high volume and big play potential. And getting him in the late second or early third is a pretty good value. So that's where I'm looking at with Jalen Hyatt. Now, next guy's Eric Gray. Going to stay in the same team here, the Giants. They took him round 5, pick 172. He's got like a late third, sometimes early fourth ADP. Now, Eric Gray's the kind of kid that I've talked about a lot. I really like Eric Gray in terms of what he can maybe be for his long-term strengths, good burst. He's got a 3-down ability, right? Now, when we talk about running backs, so when we're talking about running backs and what we like from that position, where it goes and those type of things, like what are we looking for, right? To me, you're looking for in these sleeper areas, can be running back 2 on the depth chart right now. Eric Gray has that opportunity, right, with the Giants. He could be running back 2 on that depth chart. Can he have a 3-down ability? Can he get used different ways? Okay, he can. All right, I'm going to check that off, right? And as a runner, good patience, burst, those type of things. Now, vision he struggles with, long speed, contact balance. Like those are things that he's just not going to have probably as a player. But when you're looking at where his fit is, right? So when we just talked about Hyatt, he is a pretty good fit too. He's behind Barkley, who's in that contract gray area, wants a new contract, didn't get it, said he's going to hold out, hasn't signed his tender yet. So when we're thinking of like his, when they looking at long-term, what's Barkley going to be? Gray could be that guy. Running back 2 with some, hey, could be very relevant. Could be a 3-down back, right? Now, and Matt Breida and Gary Brightwell, they don't scare me at all into that. And I think with Barkley and his injury history, his contract, I think Gray could have some top 24 finishes, right? Could be that running back too. Why not go after this guy in the late fourth, early third, or late third, early fourth in that area? Gray could be that guy that you're saying, hey, I really like this kid. And I think you get a little bit of run with Barkley there. I think that he can have that ability to be that 3-down guy. And then who knows what goes on with Barkley next year, right? Who knows what we're talking about with his depth chart? Eric Gray could step in and be that guy. Eric Gray is someone I would be targeting in all my leagues. Now, next guy is Evan Hull. Now, before I get yelled at by all the people out here in the comments, because everybody knows I was never really a huge Evan Hull fan. Like, I thought he was getting overvalued by some. Some had him as running back 3 of this class, which didn't pan out, right? Round 5, pick 167. And we see his production there. But he got drafted by the Colts. And there's one thing that Evan Hull does pretty well. Pass catching, right? So when we're thinking of like pass catching, what he did, 88 catches the last 2 years, basically over 800 yards and 4 touchdowns there. He has that pass catching upside. He's got production from the last 2 years. You see that, rushing numbers has been there, good footwork, and he tested very well, right? So his RAS score, his relative athletic score is 9.32, 4.40. We saw that vertical jump. We saw the 3-cone drill. He did really well there. And so we see that. Now, weaknesses are going to be from a rushing standpoint, like, hey, contact balance, vision. I do think he's a little PPR limited as well. So if you're looking at what leagues you're in, if you're in a half PPR standard, this is more of a PPR play in terms of sleeper. But let's talk about team fit. I like where he kind of got to, right? So he's a 5th-round guy. I think because of that athleticism, it did bump him up into being drafted, right? Now, they have Jonathan Taylor, but he could carve out a role as the passing down back in this offense, right? So that's what you're looking for. I think that he can kind of be that guy. If Shane Steichen goes and utilizes a passing down running back, I think they have Hull in mind for that. Especially in offense with Taylor, and then Zach Moss is there. And again, those guys are going to be more of your red zone, kind of short yardage situations. Hull can be that nice addition in the pass catching area, especially in PPR leagues. Like, I think that's what you're looking for here. So again, he kind of checks some boxes that he has a specialty. Well, what is his specialty? He's going to catch passes, and in PPR, he can do that. And in Taylor, you never know. We've seen Taylor kind of be banged up before. Maybe they use him a little bit more, right? So maybe they use Hull and they can split time a little bit. Not saying that they're going to split a ton of time here, so don't go, telling people that. But I do think from a PPR standpoint, you probably have to like that, right? You probably have to go and be like, hey, I like his value. I like where I'm getting him at. And again, team fit is fun, and there's not a bunch of guys in front of him. So again, if there's not a bunch of guys in front of him, I think you're excited about what he could be as a rookie, right? So that's what we're looking at here. Now, we're going to the next guy. Xavier Hutchinson's another one. So Xavier Hutchinson, didn't get drafted to the 6th round. Many thought he'd go a little bit earlier. He fell. He went to the Texans. But I like that spot for him. So Xavier, as you can tell from his college stats, he's just a target getter. He's going to earn targets. He's going to go get them. He's going to go have some fun with it. Like, that's Xavier Hutchinson's MO. Now, as far as like what we should see from him moving forward and what he does well as a prospect, he finds space really well. I think for me with the Texans, he's just going to find space and go earn targets, go over the middle, catches anything gets thrown into his hand. He has legitimate hands. Like, he has some of the best hands in this class. You really like that from out. And I think the thing that I like too about Hutchinson, he can go inside and out, right? Like, when you're looking at him as a prospect, like, he can play on the outside, he can play in a slot. I think there's some maneuverability there. So you're thinking of the receivers they have on that roster. Nico, Mechie, Robert Woods, Tank Dell. Maybe Hutchinson can earn his playing time in there. Now, weaknesses, he does have, not very athletic. And we saw that in the relative athletic score. Okay, but nothing really popped up. Older prospect, ceiling could be capped based on what he is. And so that's why he's going to like 407, 408 range. He's going really late. But if you think maybe he can go in there and earn some targets for the Texans, who desperately need that help in that receiving area, I think that's an area that you can kind of really, I think you can kind of exploit a little bit. Now, as far as team fit, again, I think, we comped him to Jacoby Myers, me, Jeff, and Christian here at the Devy Royale. But maybe they like that. I think that there's a lot of he's got to earn that spot. I think he got to get in there and battle for that 4th kind of wide receiver area there. But because he's so physical and because he can earn those targets, I think he can kind of be that guy when you're looking at like being the backup to Robert Woods and kind of learning from him. And I think they like that about him, right? I think that he can go in there, stash him your rookie year. So this is more of a taxi squad stash, and maybe he earns that role of going that inside and out. And I think his versatility as an inside out guy will help him moving forward. I think he could be a late round sleeper. Now, my last one. So this is a controversial one. To me, Zach Evans, it depends where you can get him, right? So I saw him fall to the 402 in a draft, and I saw him at like the 304. Where do you feel comfortable drafting him? I'd be much more comfortable drafting in the fourth round than the third. Didn't pan out in terms of rookie draft capital. Round 6, pick 215. Obviously, looked like he was going undrafted. Then he lands with the Rams. And I think that is what excites me the most because he landed in a good spot, right? When we're looking at what he was able to do in college with what he highlights himself as an NFL player, I think he lands himself in a good spot. We see kind of the strengths of his. I think he's got good awareness. I think he knows where he's at in the field. He does well. Athleticism and burst there. But the big reason why he dropped in this draft is off-field stuff. Didn't look good. Receiving ability wasn't really there. Never proven to be the guy, right? Never proven he can be that guy in an offense. He's stepping forward. So those are the big three, doesn't really do very well. Now, when you're talking about team fit, so this is why I think he's still a sleeper. And this is why I still think, based on talent, I don't mind taking a shot at him. Landed in an ideal spot. He has elite athleticism. He can make outside zone one-cut running system, and McVay does that, right? He only has Kyren Williams ahead of him. If he can go in there and kind of, earn that spot, go get that third spot, or maybe vault ahead of Kyren Williams, because I like Evans more as a prospect than I like Kyren Williams. If he can go do that, earn that second spot, and maybe he's just that guy. Maybe he's just that, hey, didn't work out in college, but he's a gamer and can go be that NFL guy, goes in training camp and works really hard. And maybe this process pissed him off. Maybe when you're looking at it, he's going to be like, hey, I should have been drafted earlier. And he gets a little fire in him, right? Gets that off-field stuff out there, focused on what he needs to do. And maybe there's a little bit of hope. But if you're going to take a shot in this class that's kind of taken a hit in that third or fourth round, Evans is the type of guy you take a shot on. Based on just talent overall, what he can do, you take a shot on him in the fourth round. And again, there's going to be some people out there and analysts that think this is stupid. But again, who else are you going to take in these late rounds in the third and fourth with the type of talent that he has? And based on what I've seen from him, I still think Evans has the potential. Like if he can go earn that spot, maybe you're looking at a plug and play guy and you're excited about, hey, maybe he can be on the field as early as week 1, right? So those are my sleepers. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you like some of these guys? Who else are you looking at? Now, there's a bunch of guys out there in terms of sleepers. Israel Abed and Canada I could have put on here from the Jets. He may get early playing time as well. But who knows in terms of what Breece Hall's injury looks like. But let me know. Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? Who are some sleepers that you're looking to target? I try to get guys that are going basically late second all the way to, late fourth in there. Give you some there. I appreciate you guys. Hit that like and subscribe button. I'll check you guys later.